Aries, you are feeling the shift of the wind, or more to say, the shift of the tide. Where March could have been a month where you needed more strength, courage, the truth definitely was on your side. You're now looking at April, where suddenly you feel a release in the control. You release it to the universe. You are working together with the universe, almost as if you know that things are just going to work out the way they're supposed to. But what does the universe want you to know for the month to come? What messages are we supposed to not overlook? What are we supposed to consider? And where is the month of April going to bring us? Well, Aries, for the second part or the second trimester of 2026, your card shifts from truth be told to the sea. And to the sea is not necessarily the type of card that an Aries enjoys. This is talking about emotional release. This is talking about bringing faith into just knowing that things will work a certain way, and there it is. But as the Aries, we like to know where we're heading. We like to know what direction things are going at. But for the month of April, you're going to see this is going to play out for your favor. So let's take a look at what exactly is happening in April of 2026. What does the universe want us to embrace, and what do we need to be prepared for? Thank you for joining me at Ashes to Empress for your April 2026 reading. Let's begin. So Aries, we are looking at to the sea. This is about that innate sentiment of knowing that you are heading in the right direction. You don't need to look around you. You don't need to concern yourself with where this is going. You're just flowing. Things are flowing in the right direction for you. This card talks about public recognition, being seen by others, being valued by others. This is things are finally starting to line up. With the Six of Wands, we're talking about all your hard work is starting to be seen and is being noticed and paid attention to. But what is this Three of Swords all about? We just went through January, February, March, where the truth being told was something very pertinent in your life, Aries. So what's this hidden fact? What is this Three of Swords? This could be work, this could be relationship, as well as friendship or family. But this Three of Swords tells us that there's still something that is being, I don't want to say hidden, I want to say innocently not brought to your attention. Because with the Fool, it seems to be that type of energy. The Three of Swords signifies either hidden truth, either a heartbreak, whether we want to or not. It also can mean deceit, being Three of Swords. This is definitely a choice of the mind. But when I pair it up with the Fools, I do feel that this is not being done in a malicious way, but in an innocent way. Like, I didn't think you needed to know this, Aries. I didn't think that this was actually really important for you. So it's that sentiment of innocentness, so not wanting to personally harm you or hide things from you, but almost just not seeing how valuable this piece of information could have been. We quickly progress, however, when this comes out, because the Three of Swords always says that that information or that piece of knowledge, that hidden truth comes out. And when this comes out, and it will always come out, there's right away the Temperance cards that comes into action here. And this is about moderation. This is about transforming one thing to another. So whatever this element is, the second it comes to your attention, it's as if you're capable right away to spin it around. You're capable of, and you probably won't even know how this just organically happens, but you take this information, you take this hidden truth, you take this newly revealed information, and it turns out and it almost plays in your favor. And that's where the To the Sea card comes into play. It's as if the universe lined it up that what could have hindered you in your path is actually possibly creating an advantage point for you, because the Temperance talks about moderation. So definitely moderation of your emotions around the subject, But it also talks about being able to transform something, take one thing and create another. In the initial temperance cards, we're talking about two chalices here. One has fire, one has water. So water becomes chalice, and chalice becomes and fire becomes water. So one thing could become very well something that it was entirely intended not to be. There's also the notion of the water flowing the opposite direction. So as much as every piece of logical knowledge and warehouse that you have says this had to go in one direction, well, for one reason or another, it went completely in a different direction. And this actually sets you on a course here with the Page of Wands, on the course of initiating something new, doing something new, maybe even achieving certain new responsibilities. Because where once you were the fool here, innocently wandering about with your wand, right? Innocently not knowing about what this Three of Swords represents, well, all of a sudden here, Aries, you're now the page with that same wand. But instead of just wandering around, you are now on a quest. You are on a mission. You are initiating something new. You are putting your feet on a new path, a new direction, possibly a new shift. And wherever this is leading you, because don't forget, the entire month of April, we are talking about public recognition. But it all starts with this one thing that should not have gone as well as it does for you, or will not, right? But it actually does. And how does it do that? Well, universe had your back on this. Universe is telling you, mind your emotions, Aries. This is not a moment to lose your cool. This is not a moment to freak out about something that you didn't know about. This is mind your emotions, and I, universe, will mind the direction this takes. And that is exactly what happens with the Temperance card. Universe is minding the direction this is going to take, setting you on a new course, on a new trajectory that you never thought possible. Because by mid-month, Aries, we definitely have a reason to celebrate. Three of Cups, this is all about expansion and happiness and growth, celebration, community, fellowship. The cups are definitely talking about abundance, but also fulfillment. You are starting here at mid-month to start already receiving the public recognition that will flow through this month of April. You're going to look back on the challenges you went through in March, and you're going to realize why those had to happen, because everything lined up. The truths, the way you learned how to temper possibly your reactions, your emotions in face of, unexpected news, all that came to train you, to prepare you, to build you for this moment here. And the celebration is well deserved. The good news is definitely maybe even a promotion. I mean, this does talk about emotional fulfillment, inner love. If this is in links to a relationship, then whatever this is will actually make the relationship stronger. If we're talking career, we're talking whatever this is will line you up to maybe a promotion or different responsibilities. I'm not seeing necessarily, well, possibly here with the Knight, possibly even a raise, absolutely. If this is a friendship, same rule. Whatever could have hindered the relationship, it is stronger. So see where this fits in your life, Aries, and that is exactly where this, like I said, it's not earth-shattering, it's not like end of the world, but it's enough to pull out a reaction of yours, and you are going to handle this like a champion. Following the celebration, why are we celebrating? Because you are starting something new, which you here stepped on as a new quest or a new task, a new responsibility, now has brought you to a new threshold, to a new chapter where you're watching those ships coming in, you're watching where this can lead, you're watching the path that this can bring you down. And you have everything you need. You have your wand, you have your skills, you have your knowledge, you have your know-hows, you have the willpower that go with this. You want this, Aries, and you are ready to move. And I feel that by the end of April here, not only are you being seen for what you brought to the table, whether it be especially, and I do feel we're talking for a greater part of you, we're talking career, but again, there may be some emotionally, more emotional, so family, friends, and partnerships, But for those that I'm talking more career here, because for me, this is reading more like career. You're being seen for what you're bringing to the table. You are being recognized with the Pentacles. So this is where I said there is a possibility of a raise here. But what's most important to you on this scale is the now being able to move in a direction, because you've probably felt stuck for quite some time. And the Knight of Pentacles says it is time to move. This is action. This is working towards something. And Pentacles, so chances are, Aries, if you wanted to travel more and it was a question of budget, this will be able to loosen up that budget for you. If you wanted to buy a house, it's a question, like this is definitely going to contribute in the Pentacle way, so monetary, physical possessions, even health, into the avenue of what you've wanted, but that project's kind of been on standby because you didn't have the means necessarily to bring it about. This is going to open that door. You are going to be able to harvest the dreams and the aspirations you've had, because this is now going to give you the extra means, the extra seeds that you can plant in order to grow the life you want to go to. Now, we cannot ignore the Hierophant, right? And if I look at your second trimester of the year, and we go back to your annual reading, this was a question of growth. So I did say here harvest, right? Because the Empress also came in as a guiding energy for April, May, and June. So whatever you are growing in April, okay, the Hierophant talks about spiritual guidance, spiritual leaders, definitely wisdom from above. And I have to link the Hierophant to the energy of the Empress, saying, what is your reason of doing so? Because as long as your reasons are selfless, as long as your reasons are for the greater good, the good of others, contributing to others, everything you plant, everything you sow will grow, and abundance will continue to be there with you. This go to see, amongst many other things, talks about allowing the trust and the faith to guide you, but this can only guide you as long as your true intentions are true. I'm not saying they have to, like, selfless in a way that not at the cost of anyone else, but you can absolutely have intentions for your own well-being and your own prosperity and your own abundance. This doesn't have to be something where you are 100% focusing on other people, but it cannot be at the cost of anyone else. So my promotion cannot be at the cost of throwing somebody else under the bus. You know, this friendship cannot be at the cost of, falsely accusing another friend. You understand what I'm saying? It comes from a very heart-based sentiment, and especially with this Three of Cups, it is purely happy and positive, abundant, prosperous, because the universe is working with you. But we also have to keep ourselves in check when the universe is working with us to make sure that we are equally working with our true self. And that's where the Hierophant comes in and says, you've done work to figure yourself out. You've done work to find your true self. Now it is time to be true to that, to saddle up on that horse, to find your path, to find the direction you want to take, but always in truth and ease and grace with who you truly are. Aries, for whoever this message is meant for, I do hope that this brings some clarity to you. Please take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and trust yourself with all the rest. If this reading resonated with you, please consider subscribing so you don't miss the next one. Aries, I wish you a beautiful month of April, and I'll see you at the next reading. Take care.